Hi guys, I hope you're all well and that you are having a wonderful weekend. In today's video, we are going to continue with our trip down memory lane, listing Megan's faux pas and her lies. Yes, and not even all of them, but only the best known ones and the ones we can support with evidence. Again, I do not have the time to ensure that it is all in chronological order. But what the heck? I can't see how that would matter in any which way. Okay, I think we ended with number 8, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So let's start at number 9 anyway. Number 9 is one which started before the wedding, carried on during the marriage, and is likely still happening from time to time whenever Megan feels she is losing her grip on Harry or when she wants something big from him. So, what may that be? None other than cosplaying Diana. If she's not wearing Diana's perfume, she wears a similar outfit or adopts a mannerism. This has never worked for Megan, so why she still pulls that trick out of her hat, I don't know. It is not good PR, and it just shows the world what a bad actress she is. Number 10. Oh, I've been wanting to talk about this for ages. I have no idea why, but Megan's behavior and fashion for and during Invictus games have been erratic and weird right from the first time she attended. From wearing torn jeans, knowing she would be photographed with a prince, to arriving with Marcus Anderson flying like a kite in the stratosphere. Then going to the other extreme, wearing a head to toe white suit to a sport event. And from that to marching ahead of soldiers and veterans in a short, wrinkled jumpsuit and a pair of slops. I have been looking at this fiasco now for years, and I'm no closer to any answers. I can just shake my head in disbelief and ask, what the F is that woman thinking? Number 11. Talking about herself as an only child, lying about her contact with her half sister and half brother. This is another one of those lies she told before, during, and is likely still telling. Number 12, telling all and sundry that she had to work to put herself through university when her father has the receipts to show that he paid for all her studies and accommodation. And as a matter of fact, he'd actually shown it to people. Yet she still pulls that lie out of her bag of tricks from time to time. Number 13. Remember how she denied helping Scobie and Durant with their book, yet had to suddenly remember that she did actually help when she was confronted with an email that she sent to Jason Knopf. How embarrassing to be caught on such a lie and having to apologize to a British court. But did she learn her lesson? No, because she continued lying. Number 14. Yes, she continued lying, like in the Oprah interview. Will we ever get over the got married 3 days before the spectacle of a wedding? I don't think so. As a matter of fact, it has become synonymous with telling a lie in our household. When we think somebody is not telling the truth, we say, "Oh, are you also getting married 3 days before you get married?" At last count, there were about 17 provable lies in the Oprah interview, and about 23 along with those provable ones, which cannot be proven. Anyway, All of that for an hour-long program. I can't remember them all, but it was things like the royal family took her keys and passport. She was locked up in a home at Frogmore for 5 months and, poo-poo like that. Not a good look at all. As a prospective employer, whether producer of a film or CEO of Netflix, I would not employ Meghan Markle if you paid me $1 million. The risk is just too big. Number 15. I'm almost dying from secondhand embarrassment just thinking about Meghan's appearance on The Ellen Show. Being a sport and taking part in a gag is indeed one thing. Being a 40-plus-year-old woman sucking on a baby bottle in public and talking shite is quite another, particularly if that 40-plus-year-old is a duchess. I absolutely do not think that stunt was at all good PR for Meghan. Number 16, the cut article. Well, I thought it was hilarious, but in terms of PR for Meghan, it was terrible. Number 17. Oops, wait, I see I missed one. It should have been just before lying about Scobie and Durand, but I'm going to mention it now anyway. Shunning and ghosting her father is possibly the one single thing which makes Meghan look like a deranged, heartless, devoid of normal emotion kind of person. Need I say more? I don't think so. Number 18. Remember her animated film called Pearl, the children's program for little girls, all about little Megan's dreams and wishes? Well, that never made it to the screen, did it? Yes, Netflix cut a little on their animation series, but I think The Duchess was the first to be cut, as it was not an original idea at all. And by coincidence, the original idea dwells in a series of books by Chelsea Clinton. Since then, it has become known that Meghan and her ginger sock puppet had presented a few different ideas to the Netflix executives. None of them, and I mean none of them, original, and none of them are ever likely to see the light of day. Yes, I don't think there will be queues of people or companies waiting to snap them up and offer them contracts the day Netflix decide not to renew their agreement and contract. Number 19, the Harry and Meghan mockumentary. I think it was the single biggest thing which changed the minds of those who were on the fence about Harry and Meghan. The entire documentary, all 6 episodes, was a travesty. Once you watched it, you are torn between crying because those are hours of your life you'll never get back, and then trying to get your jaw back in place after it had been dragging on the floor for a few hours. Everything in and about the documentary reeked fake and foul. To this day, I cannot believe they had the gall, the guts to use 2 photographs, one of Katie Price leaving a court and another of photographers at the Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 premiere to illustrate how they were hounded by the paparazzi. It took about 10 seconds for the public to recognize the photographs and spread it all over social media. Of all the most embarrassing things to happen. But did it bother Megan? Of course not. I'm not even going to go into all the BS in the mockumentary because I sat through it and I gave a complete rundown of it, and that was more than enough. But to this day, I wish Megan would have knocked her head on a coffee table or something when she mocked the Queen with that elaborate bow. But that bow led to her being found out on another lie, and that is number 20. Remember how she told all and sundry how someone had to show her how to curtsy the first time she was going to meet the Queen? Well, this reminded the world about that, and soon we were not just told, but shown that she executed a perfect curtsy in suits. Number 21. Not only did Spotify drop her because, one, she could not produce more than 14 podcasts in more than 2 years, but number two, she could not produce anything to satisfy public demand or something like that. And then to have one of the bosses of Spotify call you an effing grifter. No, there are no other platforms lining up to sign her, and then finally to be exposed as not interviewing all her podcast guests herself. What a lazy grifter. Number 22. The lies. Oh, the lies she produced in that podcast. How they stayed in this compound in South Africa. Yes, indeed, the compound of the British ambassador's residence in Cape Town, one of the most lavish ambassadorial residences in the entire world. Oh, and the fire in Archie's room, something absolutely no one knows anything about. But in order not to embarrass Megan too much, it was said that maybe one of the heaters smoked a little because it has not been in use for a while. Well, my dears, why put a heater on in the first place in the middle of October in South Africa? Anyway, let's move on to number 23. Remember her story about a pilot taking off his hat and kneeling next to her, thanking her for everything she had done for his country? What shall I say but that it is so highly, highly unlikely that it is likely a big fat lie? Number 24. Remember her and her ginger handbag in the veteran cemetery, walking all over the graves of American veterans while the photographer they hired snapped away? I'm sure there are numerous families who are still unable to swallow the bile. Number 25. How even the biggest fans can forgive her Uvalde pap walk, I don't know. How that woman could ever be forgiven for turning such a tragedy into a pap walk, I don't know. If I was a family member, she would likely have gone home without a couple of her teeth. Number 26. And when it comes to children and schools, how can her supposed brothers and sisters forgive her for what she did to the school in Harlem? The demands for a new carpet and cushions, the NDAs, blah, 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 and it all in exchange for a wilted box of vegetables. Number 27, phoning United States senators on their private numbers and introducing herself as the Duchess of Sussex, lobbying for paid leave in the United States as the Duchess of Sussex. The brass neck of Meghan Markle is absolutely unbelievable. Number 28. Oh, I know. I should have mentioned this under invictus, or as I now call it, invictus. But I think it is so funny that it needs a number of its own. Remember her painting the Ukrainian flag upside down? Then remember that she said of herself that she is insanely intelligent. And I'll leave that there. Number 29. Remember her 40 by 40 fiasco? Yet another of her projects which went nowhere. What a success for Meghan. Not. Number 30. Oh, remember her telling the world about the South African actor who told her we celebrated their marriage the same way we did the day Mandela was released. As a South African, I can tell you categorically that that is not true. Not even a little. I don't think even half of South Africa watched the wedding on television. And then I'm being generous. If it was 10%, maybe. But even that, I would personally think, is giving them more credit than they are worth. The South African musician or score writer, actually, who was at the premiere, denied saying anything like that. And the South African actor did not even attend the Lion King premiere. So, an utter, bold faced lie once again told in public. How insane is this woman? Number 31. Stealing Her Majesty's nickname for their invisible daughter. I'm not only ticked off about that, but of the most sneaky things they could have done, this is likely the worst. Number 32. Announcing she is 43% Nigerian. How anyone, Nigerian or otherwise, can even entertain the thought is beyond me. It is scientifically impossible for her to be 43% Nigerian. It is certainly one of the most delusional lies she has ever told. And to hear Harry repeat it makes me sick, because how dumb can any one person be? I'm just asking. Number 33. Being thrown out of the UN building allegedly because they had recording devices on them. Number 34. The New York car chase, which never happened. Again, a highly embarrassing lie and event. Yet Meghan and Harry are so thick-skinned and tone-deaf. They are actually going back to New York this month. Can you believe it? Number 35. The South Park skit. That was indeed so hilarious. But in terms of PR for Harry and Meghan, it was highly embarrassing. And it also introduced them as the two biggest grifting idiots. I know it was satire, but many a true word is spoken in jest. Number 36. Chris Rock roasting them. Yes, indeed, it happens. They do that all the time to one another, etc. But knowing Meghan, she must have felt a real fool. Number 37. And now, the Kevin Costner event. Megan trying to wrestle that microphone from that woman. Yes, it was funny, but also totally ridiculous and embarrassing. So there you have it, my dears, a synopsis of Megan's lies and her PR suicide. And yes, I can only shake my head in disbelief, not only for all the things I listed here, but also for everything I left out, because there are probably another two or three mm, recordings that one could make if you really wanted to list all her lies and faux pas, don't you think? Anyway, I am astounded at how people can still give her a platform to lie and act out on. I honestly do not understand it. Anyway, guys, so that was a mouthful. So I'll see you soon with some other stuff. So until then, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.